Well, hi there. Welcome back. This is One-on-One with Tim, and I want to thank you for spending a little one-on-one time with me. How's your week been? Well, I hope. Hope everything is going according to plan, as they say. And if not, remember, things can always get better. I am Tim, and I just want to do a little quick one-on-one. Got a couple of topics that I was going to bring up and talk about here. I guess first and foremost is everybody ready for Super Bowl Sunday, this Sunday? Yeah, me too. To be honest with you, I could really care less one way or the other about the Super Bowl this year. Well, and previous years as well. This year is no exception. Of course, we have the New England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl, which, who would have saw that coming at the beginning of the year? Not me, that's for sure. They are playing the Seattle Seahawks, which again, who would have saw that coming? Again, not me. It's funny being up in this area when the Seahawks are well and doing good or in the Super Bowl or whatever. Everyone, of course, jumps on the bandwagon, and it's always Seahawks this and Seahawks that. And the funniest thing they keep hearing over and over now is everyone's saying, "Oh, we owe the Patriots one. The Seahawks, they owe the Patriots one." It's like, well, yeah and no, because that Super Bowl was, 12 years ago? And not to mention the entire team is different. The entire coaching staff is different. So basically it's just the franchise owes the other franchise from one franchise's bad mistake in a Super Bowl that costed them a back-to-back Super Bowl. But, whatever. Whatever you need to build drama up for this is, sure, whatever. Seattle owes them one. But like I say, it's a entirely new team, entirely new coaching staff. But yeah. So, I kept thinking, give a pick, but to be completely honest, I could give a shit one way or the other. I did have an incredibly lucky streak. Well, not really lucky streak. So basically, for many, 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 many years, the team that I was rooting for in the Super Bowl would lose. This is, I think the first real team rooting for was 1985, which was the Chicago Bears and the New England Patriots, which, of course, the Bears defense was just this unstoppable machine. They were just destroying everybody, and it was pretty much a lock the Bears were going to win. But the underdog rooter that I am, I was rooting for the Patriots. And, well, you may or may not know the end story of that one, but the Patriots got their ass kicked. That kind of began my little streak of, like I say, rooting for teams that would lose. The next year, I believe, was the 49ers and the Broncos. And I don't know. I was not a fan of Joe Montana at the time. Of course, now stepping back and being removed from the greatness that he truly was, I can appreciate how good of a player he was. But at the time, I was just getting sick and tired of seeing the same teams in there. And I believe this may have been the 49ers' second or maybe the third Super Bowl they were in. I forget. I don't know off the top of my head, but that was the year the AFC would lose Super Bowls after Super Bowls for like 13 years. I forget. I think the Broncos, when they played the Packers, were the last or the first AFC team in many years to win the Super Bowl. And ironically enough, I was rooting for the Packers that year, and they lost. So I think the first real Super Bowl where I had, skin in the game, as they say, was the 2002 where the Bucs were playing the Raiders, and I've been a Buccaneers fan for many years and was hoping that this would be the year. I mean, it was their first Super Bowl, and I was all in, and unfortunately, the Bucs did win that Super Bowl, and so that was a pretty fun day. I'll always remember it, and so that was the first true Super Bowl that I was truly rooting for a team that actually did come out and win. And so, yeah. And so when I would tell people that my Super Bowl picks would always lose, if someone's favorite team or a team they were betting on, I guess may have been the better description there. But if a team they were betting on was in the Super Bowl, I would always make my official pick that I was rooting for the team against their team, just because they may have been superstitious and like, oh man. And a couple times it did actually work out to my advantage where I did pick the team and that team lost. So I'd usually, after having that string for many years, I would always just start fucking with people saying, oh, well, you want the so-and-so team? Well, I'm going to root for that so-and-so team. And they would, knowing my history, be like, no, don't, you're going to, jinx them. And so, but honestly, over the last, since I guess the Bucks won it in 2020, I haven't really cared. I mean, granted, now we have doesn't take place this year, but I was going to say we had the Chiefs were always a mainstay in the Super Bowl, and they won the 2 out of 3. And last year, I don't even think I made a pick. I again didn't really give a crap. I didn't give a crap so much that I didn't even, like I say, even try to come up with whatever. Who cares? The Chiefs are going to win. Well, they lost, but I never made an official proclamation. Easy for me to say. So I can't really chalk that one up to me picking a winner. This year, like I said, I don't care. I honestly wasn't even going to watch it, but plans came up, and so now I get to tag along and go to a Super Bowl gathering. And I wouldn't say party, but a gathering, and so there's going to be Seahawk fans there. So maybe I will root for the Seahawks, but I don't know. Looking at it on paper now, I really don't see the Seahawks losing this one. But hey, that's I guess why they play the game. So I don't know. But I'm going to make a official proclamation right now. So if you're listening to this before the Super Bowl and you hear my pick, you might want to vote against the team I'm picking against. Vote. Yeah, the team I pick, you might want to bet on them winning. I don't know. Maybe I made that more confusing than it needs to be, but I think the Seahawks are going to win this one. So, but again, at the end of the day, I don't really give a crap one or the other. So, as long as everybody has fun and they're safe and has a good time, and that's all that matters. And now my pet cat jumped into my lap, and as you may hear there you go. He likes to rub on the mic here, so that's a little feedback there. So, we're not doing any edits here. We're running without a net, and so now I have a kitty cat in my lap. Let's see if I can get him to meow. You gonna meow for me? Get a meow? No, he's just gonna sniff everything and try to be evolved in a non-meowing capacity. So, oh wait, here he comes. Come on. Okay, so anyway, that's one of the portions. Super Bowl Sunday, big deal. Watch the fat get fatter, stuff your face, eat a lot of crap, whatever. Just be safe if you drink. Don't drive if you drink. Don't drink if you drive. That old spiel. So, what else is going on here? So, actually, yeah, that does remind me of the other topic I wanted to discuss a little bit is, so as you may have heard or know or follow or listen to me, this summer I had to, I guess, backtrack a little more. So I was a Megadeth fan for the 80s. That's being a metalhead. That's kind of a given, I guess. And was a huge Megadeth fan. Loved Megadeth, bought Megadeth, listened to Megadeth, talked Megadeth. Everything was Megadeth. And then this summer, Mustaine had made some statements about still being bitter about Metallica using songs he had written, which happened in, early 80s. So we're talking 40 plus years. And, of course, if you know Dave Mustaine, he is a whiny bitch, I think might be the best. And I had a nice little rant about him just continuing complaining about something that happened 40 years ago. Pretty much lost respect I had for him, which was as the years gone by, and the more the years go by, I should say, and the more he opens his mouth, the less I like him. And so I just was just like, okay, well, it was announced that Megadeth was going to put out one more album and go on one more long world tour as a way to say thanks. And there he goes. So anyway, said album has come out, and after my little rant I had this summer about it, I decided that I wasn't going to listen to it, but then it kept popping up on my Spotify, and so I was curious. I mean, if you know Megadeth, you know they started heavy and then they went radio, and then they went, I don't know, semi-heavy, and then they just kind of stayed semi-heavy and had a little bit of softness in there, and just up and down. And so there's some good albums and there's some really bad albums, and so I thought I'd figure, well, why don't I just listen to it and then I'd give it a review. So this is my review of the Megadeth album entitled Megadeth, which is supposed to be the swan song of the career of Megadeth. Again, like I say, I wasn't going to listen to it at first, but I figured, what the hell, I'll give it one spin through. Who knows? It might be good. I mean, the last one was okay. It was decent. And so having said that, this album, Megadeth, by Megadeth, is shit. This album sucks. For being a last album for, let's just say, I'll say legendary thrash band for the last 40 years, this album was garbage. I did not like this album at all. There was no redeeming songs on this fucking tape or CD or album. I guess I'll just stick with that verbiage. There was no redeeming songs on this. This stuff was like pop radio garbage. If this was supposed to be the last album, you might as well just throw this album in the garbage can and never, if you're getting into Megadeth, do not start with this one, please. This one is terrible. It is so, I don't even know. I almost was going to turn it off, but I decided that I was going to review it, so I wanted to give it a full listen through. I didn't want to just do it half-assed, as they say. But there was really no... Okay, so Mustaine is a born-again Christian. That's fine. I know you may know he's had substance abuse issues in his life, his adult life. In and out of rehab, relapsed, went back to rehab, all that. Hey, if that's what you need to keep yourself clean, more power to you. Who am I to say? It's not my place to say. And so I feel that some of that, which I guess, let me backtrack a little bit. So him becoming a born-again Christian is, I guess, conflicted him. I've read some interviews where it's conflicted him because in the early days he's had kind of some, not really full-blown satanic songs, but songs with satanic references and this, that, and the other. Well, now that he is, in the thought process he's in now, he feels that he can't play those songs. Hey, that's fine. Whatever. Who am I to say what you can and cannot play or how you shouldn't feel? I would never tell anyone how they should feel, as no one should ever tell me how I should feel. And so there's a couple songs in here that kind of feel very godly or God-esque or whatever. I don't know. I didn't really make any preparations for this, as you may have been able to tell. I'm just kind of going by what I remember from listening to this hunk of shit for, I don't know, a couple days ago. But there's a couple song, or a song, that actually sticks out to me, and something about him talking to God about not being there for God or needing God there. I don't know, whatever. Like I say, if that's what you need, that's what you need. I'm not here to judge. Those days are over. Maybe if I was younger, I'd get a little more into it, but that's a story for another time. But so yeah, it's got these undertones, and there's, like I said, just pop garbage. Just the music, or the music. It doesn't really feel like there's a lot of like characteristics or behind it, or even just, I don't know. It's just cut by number stuff, I guess. Really, there's nothing that stands out. Nothing, because I was thinking after hearing it, going, man, this may be their worst album. Now, again, my opinion, the worst Megadeth album was Risk. I think that was 97, 98, maybe 2000, 99. I forget exactly. It was one of those right around the turn of the century. They did a really bad pop, like radio friendly album. And it just, I remember hearing it. I don't know if I actually know. I had to have bought it. I was going to say, I don't know if I bought it, but I had to have bought it because at the time there was no streaming. And I think I listened to it once and I don't know, threw it away, lost it, gave it away. I don't know what happened to it. And I really don't give a shit. And I don't think I've listened to it since then. And so I was thinking, well, this new Megadeth album by Megadeth, if this is the worst album, then I better re-listen to what I thought was the worst album and get kind of a updated comparison. Maybe this Megadeth is better than the Risk let's see. So I pop it, or pull up Risk again. I have Spotify, so it's no big deal of just wasting my time more than anything to pull up an old Megadeth album. And I will say this, after listening to Risk for maybe the third time ever, Risk is definitely better. The songs, yes, the overall album is worse. Not worse, yeah. So, okay, so Risk is the worst. Megadeth by Megadeth is like right there, not too far behind. Now, the strong thing about Risk is the structure of the songs are a little more tight. They feel a little fluider. They're just more, there's more substance to them, I guess is what I've been trying to say this whole time. There's more substance behind it. The breakdowns are cooler. The guitar works a little better with the Megadeth album. And I think now that I've been saying it over and over again, that's why he named it Megadeth, because of Dave's egomaniac. Just, hey, if you got to say Megadeth, you got to say Megadeth. Megadeth, Megadeth. Fuck that shit. So the Megadeth album, the new one, it lacks that creative structure. It just feels so generic. It just doesn't feel like I said, like too much thought went into it. And I was reading on Instagram the other day how it was, I guess, ranked number one metal album of the week or the month or whatever, maybe even the year. Granted, we're only, a month and a week into it right now. But if that's what you're going to hang your hat on, and it's funny because, of course, a lot of the comments are like, well deserved. This is great. And then you get the, I don't know. One of the comments I commented on was, it's mid at best. And I was thinking, you know what? You're giving this up too much credit. This album is garbage. There's no mid to it. There's no, usually with a bad Megadeth album, you get at least one or two okay songs, maybe. Like I say, this one, not a one. It just lost me after song one. I persevered through the rest, and of course, there's a mid-heavy song, if that. That's the best way to describe it. It's mid. There's really nothing redeeming about it, but I thought there'd be like a big send-off or thank you for the support. Or again, I'm not expecting groveling or begging or anything, because he's going to take this pony show on the road and play these garbage songs to people who are going to be like, ooh, we're going to see Megadeth for one last time. And I know I've seen Megadeth before, and I've talked about this before on previous podcasts, but I'm going to bring it up again. I've seen Megadeth live like 5 times. Megadeth is not a good live concert. They're not a good live show, and that's because of Dave's vocals. The music's great, it's tight, but Dave's singing live sucks. He is just, and I haven't seen him. Of course, he had like throat issues and he had to relearn how to sing and all this. So I've never seen him afterwards. Maybe he sounds great. Maybe it's like listening to a choir of angels raining down on the crowd, and you're just enlightened, and your life is so much better now than it was before the show. Maybe, I don't know. The Megadeth I saw was early to late 90s Megadeth, where he was very whiny sounding. He just was, he doesn't have the live vocal chops. So you can definitely tell they are a heavily produced band, because what you hear on the albums is not what you hear live. For me personally, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So like I said, who knows? Maybe because I guess he did have some sort of throat cancer issue or whatnot and had to relearn how to sing, and, hey, whatever. Maybe they sound great, but you know what? I'm not going to cough up $150, and I don't know if that's the price. That's just what I'm guessing it might be, because Slayer was about that for their final show. But Slayer was always sounding great. I don't think there's maybe one out of the dozen times I saw them, there may have been one where the sound was off a little bit. But for the most part, it was pretty good show. But Megadeth, again, like I say, David's vocals are whiny. They don't hit the high notes. Yeah, right. Good luck with that shit. Not that he has a lot of high notes anyway, but so yeah. On this world tour, of course, they're going to probably go to every little podunk town in the world, try to squeeze this out as long as possible. I was reading he plans on touring for a long period of time. And then here's the other thing too that I'm kind of curious about. He says this is the retirement. Okay, cool. Now let's see if this sticks. I remember in the early 2000s, maybe 2002, where he had fallen asleep. He was sitting on a chair backwards, had his arm draped over the back of the chair, and he was sitting backwards on it, fell asleep on his arm, woke up, to extensive nerve damage, which for whatever reason I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but he claims that he was unable to play guitar. So he retired Megadeth. Okay, that was a good time. You didn't go on too long. I get it. A couple years later, then he comes back. Okay, I've miraculously been healed. I've gotten stronger playing. I've done this. I've done that. We're going back out. We're releasing new music, and this is that. And I was like, okay. I mean, again, I'm not gonna. We all need to make a living. I get that. And so now I'm just wondering if this farewell tour, as it's billed, what if this tour doesn't bring in the revenue that they were hoping it would be? You see what I'm saying here? So you want to go out on a big, obviously as a musician, you try to make as much as you can because that's your income. So what if this tour, how many people are going to go see this tour for nostalgia reasons? How many are going to go because it's the final tour? Or how many are going to go because they're new fans and they just want to see a band, which all those are, viable options. And I respect anyone that wants to do that because, it's your money, do what you want to do. And so I'm just curious on how much time is going to go by at the end of this tour before he may realize, oh, what if we do a nostalgia or we're going to do one more album or something. I don't know. So I guess basically what I'm saying is, do you really think this is going to be the end? I kind of hope so. I kind of feel like they've went too long, especially after listening to this hunk of shit. But yeah, so I don't know. If you have any opinions on this, let's start a discussion. Email me, arnoldorstallone@gmail.com. But so if you want my honest opinion, Megadeth by Megadeth, complete shit. Don't waste your time. Obviously, don't buy it. First of all, don't fucking buy it. It's garbage. If you see it streaming, yeah, if you got an hour to waste of your life and this is how you want to do it, then go ahead and listen to that. But other than that, this thing is shit. The songs are shit. It's just shit. It's just a steamy pile of shit. You know what? It's not even steamy. It's been sitting out in the yard for a couple days. It's been rained on. It's been baking in the sun. It's that kind of shit. So, yeah, avoid this one at all costs. There's if you want a good metal band, go check out Testament's latest album, Parabellum. Now there you go. That's a metal album. If you want something even heavier than that, go check out the Haunted's latest release. Songs of Last Resort. Now, that's a heavy album, but Megadeth by Megadeth, yeah, go fuck yourself. So, yeah, so I think I've pretty much said my piece about that. And I mean, not bring up Megadeth again for a while unless they do something really interesting that I don't want to talk about. But yeah, so other than that, how's your week been going? Anything new? Yeah, I like it. So, all right, so there's one more thing I wanted to bring up here, kind of a sad note. This last week, I guess it was last week, Catherine O'Hara passed away at the age of 71. She, you may remember her. She was the mother on Home Alone and its successful sequel, Home Alone 2. She will always be, to me, the mother on the Beetlejuice. I sound like an old person now, but she was the mother in Beetlejuice, the old Tim Burton, Michael Keaton ghost type movie. She was also a member of the Canadian group SCTV, and she passed away at the age of 71. So we'd like to give our condolences to her, and like to say she will always be remembered. She was a very funny woman. She was also in that show Schmidt's Creek with Eugene Levy. And so 71, that's really not a bad run. But of course, I'm sure that, I'm closer to 71 than I was not being 71. But, hey, like they say, you always got to live for the now. You never know when it's going to end. So R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara, and hopefully everything else is good. I don't know what that, yeah, whatever. So I'm just kind of rambling here now. Not to mention there will be no edits, so you get this as it is. So sorry about that. But yeah, my furnace is about to kick on, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here before we get the hot air blown in here and distorting this even further. But I want to thank you for spending some time with me. This has been Tim, and this has been One on One, and I will see you next week.